Technology, somebody else for a change. I like it.
There you go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and attendees online as well. And I do know that I blasted this across the United States. I hope we have good audience from that. So, and I hope you contribute your questions. My name is Laura Dawson. I own a small business called Food Physics and Body Dynamics. We are an LLC that is an approved federal and state contractor here in North Carolina. This particular venture we are introducing today, you will find the name is Dawson Solar Wind Farms Project. And we are introducing a new solution to what we consider to be a major problem for particularly rural America well users, of which there are approximately 40 million people in the United States that are impacted by well water daily in their businesses, schools, and homes. We're particularly interested in farms. So you're going to hear a little bit more about ag in this. So put on your ag hats and get ready to go. Here we are. So you can go ahead to the problem, Jamie, if you would, please. We'll talk about the problem that this addresses today. And again, food, water and its care and treatment here in the United States is not regulated. When they decided to regulate wells, it's urban. And so there's no real restrictions unless they're set by counties, et cetera. So farmers and rural families have to treat their own well water, and they're responsible for that. That's extremely expensive. Often chemicals are used that don't get managed or regulated or wasted properly. They impact the soil, they impact crops, they impact lives, families, farms, et cetera. So, and a special note I wanted to add to this particular slide was Secretary of Ag, Tom Vilsack, mentioned in the onset of his speaking before the White House briefing for the Biden administration that farmers, small farmers, while they produce 80% of the food, they only get less than, they get 89.6% of their income off farm. So they don't make money from their crops particularly. So we're trying to increase the ability of farmers to make money off their crops. So you can go on to the solution. And the solution this morning is what I mentioned to one of our audience members. It's called climate smart agriculture. And it's becoming a buzzword around the world. It's not just here in the United States, but it's a USDA buzzword. And so the definition for that is sustaining increase in production and incomes. So farms on smaller amounts of land will be able to produce large crops. And then the reduction and adaptation to climate change disasters, floods, droughts, et cetera. So the ability to be resilient to that. And finally, the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, which is major for our climate change issues. So Dawson Solar Wind Farm intends to address all of those. And we're doing that by installing a solar well water pump device on our property that is totally self-sufficient, 100%. It uses both wind and solar, and it will pump 5,000 gallons per day at a cost of approximately 0.00027 cents per gallon, making it a commodity for the farm that does not use its full 5,000 gallons per day for irrigation. We're also erecting a steel master building instead of a greenhouse, which will reduce the use of lumber and reduce the impact on the environment and be hurricane ready. So we're ready for hurricanes. By the way, all of these devices are Hurricane Category 5 approved. They will sustain and operate during those disasters. So then we are going to be installing vertical farms that use a hybrid aquaponic and aeroponic system in order to grow crops that will come to fruition every 28 days. So they will produce 25 pounds each unit, 25 pounds of crop. Using 98% land, that means that my 1 acre is going to look more like 60 acres of crop. So, and it will use 98% less water, and it will use 40% less electricity than it would to crop it. So I think we can go on to the next slide because we're going to show pictures of these devices. I'm going to get out of the way a bit so you can see. People usually visualize these, fan devices and pumps and everything as this giant fan that you see that's 100 feet, and you have to have a great big ladder to get there, and it's a big deal. This is 14 feet tall, and it stands that height at peak of the blade. It's actually 14 feet 1 inch. but we'll just call it 14 feet. And the device itself is 7 feet, 7 inches tall and 2.5 diameter. So you're going to see it's a 40-gallon hot water heater. So what you have in your household is stuck out in the field with a solar panel on top of it and a blade, and it's going to produce all that 5,000 gallons of water per day. This is the smallest unit, by the way, that we're doing this project as an R&D so that we can go to scale. Go ahead. And this is the device that we've located as a patent up in the north. They have created a device where each one of these little fields here hosts a seed, and in that seed, this is when it's ready for crop harvest. And that takes 28 days. It has an LED light in the middle. So all of this lighting and electricity for pumping, et cetera, are covered by cost of a vertical solar rooftop array. And so we're using totally sustainable energy completely on this farm. So again, you could go to the next one. So, and these are Quonset huts. Anybody seen a Quonset hut before? Yep, few people. They used to be used more in post-war days as military sites, etc. So we did not see them so much. They're making a comeback because of the cost of lumber and because of the non-sustainability of chopping down all our trees that are oxygen providers. So we're going to put one of those up. They take about 2 to 3 days to do that. And then this is my wish for today. My wishes, I get 3 wishes, Jerry told me. Jerry says I get to say 3 wishes at the end of the presentation. So here we go. So my first wish is I created a special email address, and oh, it didn't come out on here. Oh, it's in this giant thing here, this one. It is Dawson Solar Wind Farms. Oh, I think I got dyslexic. It should be DSW, but either one will work. I'll make it a catch-all. So I'm sorry.
I'll put it in the chat. So
Oh yeah, would you, if you don't mind. So it should be DSWF at, but I need to check to make sure that I didn't do that when I set it up yesterday. So we have the opportunity to host 50 paid sponsorships. You can buy a $100 certificate, and the next Hurricane 5, when you show up with your bottle, with your raincoat on, you can pump your own, and we will give you 100 gallons. You can donate that to a nonprofit or school or organization at your choice if you care to. This project has been endorsed by the board at the New Hanover County Soil and Water. I've already had conversations with them, and one of the commissioners who has looked at permits and so forth. So it looks like it's pretty good to go. I'm seeking an angel investor for phases 1 and 2, and then scalability at 3. And we have a couple leads on that, so we're excited about that. And then finally, we would love to see people come out when we're at stages of development. So we want to see people out on the property when we're getting our solar hooked up and clearing our land. We want to see people looking at the change that it creates and the effort that is needed. But once it's needed, that the minimum maintenance on this production will be significant. This will be good, special note, for people that are elderly, disabled, have young children. This requires only 1 to 3 hours per month, per crop, in order to operate the system, in order to plant the seeds and harvest the crop. So that's all I have to say. So thank you very much for your time and attention today. I appreciate it, and I look forward to any questions.